If you're starting to feel under the weather, instead of running to the supermarket for a bottle of cough mixture, you could have the cure in your kitchen. To explain, I'm joined now by registered dietitian and nutritionist Nichola Ludlam-Raine. Hello, Nichola. Thank you for coming in for a chat about this, because we hear a lot, don't we? Saeed is always going on about how much your doctor daughter's going on about turmeric and things. So spices can make a big difference, do you think?
Yeah. Spices have been used for years all around the world for their so-called healing properties. And what we now know is that these spices contain an abundance of phytochemicals, so basically plant chemicals, and they contain an array of antioxidants. So basically, antioxidants neutralize free radicals, which is a fancy term for there are lots of pollutants in the air from the sun, and antioxidants basically keep us healthy by neutralizing everything within inside us. And as a dietitian, I'm all about what you can add to your diet, eating lots of colour. And you may have heard that we should be eating 30 different plant-based foods a week, and spices actually count as a quarter of a point. So if you have 4 spices, that's one of your 30 for the entire week.
Yeah, and variety is the key to good gut health. So should we start then, given I've just mentioned turmeric? Should we start with turmeric, and black pepper's another one, isn't it? What are the benefits?
Yeah, so this is turmeric. So turmeric contains...
Oh, is that how you say it? Have I been saying it wrong?
Turmeric.
Yes. Oh, is it? I always thought it was turmeric.
My husband said the same thing. So, turmeric contains a really powerful antioxidant known as curcumin.
Yeah.
And curcumin, it's been in lots of different studies around things like coughs and colds, but mainly for its anti-inflammatory properties and joint health. So coming into winter, if people have got osteoarthritis, they may find that their aches and pains, this may help, but it's not a substitute for seeing a doctor. And you mentioned black pepper, so really interestingly, the curcumin is quite poorly absorbed, but when you add black pepper, which contains piperine, the absorption is increased, as is when you add a fat. So if you've got olive oil or if you've got some coconut milk in there, the fat increases absorption.
You know, turmeric, black pepper and olive oil was the combination we grew up with. You know, if you had a cut, you got it put on your cut. If you got a cold, you got it put, you got to drink it. If you had a sore throat, you got to drink it. Milk and turmeric was something that and black pepper was something that we were always given. It was just a huge part of
What are we talking though? Are we talking a shot of these things mixed together? How are we taking it?
So doses, the research shows that you need about 1,000 milligrams of this curcumin, but really anything is positive. Anytime you add turmeric, you're going to be adding some plant-based points and some antioxidants. So add it to curries, soups, whatever you like.
Yeah, I'm a fast fix kind of girl though, so could I literally just pour some in a glass and neck it?
You could if you want, but I think you might gag. So maybe with milk and a bit of black pepper, it might be a little bit nicer.
And olive oil. For the fat bit in it as well.
Exactly.
Right, we're having a shot of that later.
We're having a shot of that, yeah.
Freddie, you wanted to ask about ginger, didn't you?
Yeah, so I wanted to know a little bit about ginger. So I drink a lot of ginger in the morning with hot water and lemons. I find it quite soothing and sort of quite calming, actually. So I want to know, are there any other sort of properties it really has in terms of ginger?
Yeah, so ginger, which is here, this contains gingerol. And like you said, it has quite a calming and warming. And you could say, well, it's the placebo effect. But the placebo effect is real. So if you feel better, then, that helps the mind and body. Yeah. But with regards to ginger, most of the evidence is around nausea. So especially if people are suffering with morning sickness or sickness after surgery, that can really help. You find ginger in the ginger shots, but they can be quite sugary. So I would say add it to smoothie, which we've got here. Or my favourite is, as you said, in a drink. Add some lemon, because then you've got vitamin C, which is really important to your immune system. And you can always add a dash of honey, because things have got to taste good if you're going to have it regularly.
And does peeling it actually make a difference, or not necessary?
I think it depends on taste preference, but if you peel it, then you're going to be losing some of the nutrients and the fibre as well. So just give it a good wash, and if you want the peel...
And again, is this the type of thing you could like the turmeric? Can you just grate it in,
Yeah, we've just got some peeled here, but you could juice it. You could add it to a blender. You can add it to loads of different savoury dishes as well.
What if you just put it in hot water? So a bit of lemon, a bit of ginger in just hot water, and had it like a tea or
a dash of honey. Exactly. Yeah, that would be like a lovely soothing drink.
I do that every morning.
Yeah.
Is that what's in here then?
Yeah, it's in my one here.
Yeah.
The other benefit is that it's caffeine-free, and what we know is that sleep is crucial for your immune system. So if you're having a lovely drink like this, then it's going to be quite soothing and good for sleep as well.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Should we talk about sage next then?
Yeah, so sage has been used for thousands of years around ancient Rome and ancient Greece, and it's really good actually for the menopause. So in the menopause, you get a drop in estrogen levels, which can cause things like hot flushes. And sage actually contains 160 different phytochemicals, of which some of them are phytoestrogens. So they almost like mimic estrogen within the body. And when drunk, especially within a tea, so you can pop some in that mug. When drunk as a tea, it can help reduce the incidence of hot flushes. So it doesn't, again, replace the advice from a doctor, but it might help your symptoms. So I'm a big fan of, if it's natural and it doesn't cause any harm and it might benefit you, give it a go.
It doesn't really taste of much either, does it?
Doesn't apply to me, though, does it? Really, no.
It's not offensive.
It smells quite nice as well.
It's not going to give you menopausal symptoms if you're a bloke, though.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Not at all.
So we've got turmeric, black pepper.
Yeah.
We've done.
So I was going to ask you about paprika. I mean, paprika is obviously very versatile. Obviously, in curries and sauces. I mean, but obviously, I'd imagine it's got a lot more sort of to it than that, really.
Yeah, paprika is super versatile and it's also really widely available. I bet most people have got it in their kitchen at home. It's made from dried red peppers, which are abundant in vitamin A, which is good for your eye health, and vitamin C, which again supports a healthy immune system. But just like with all these spices, it's bursting with antioxidants. So the more antioxidants within your diet, you're going to help support a healthy immune system. You don't want to boost your immune system. You want to support your body's natural function. So yeah, my favourite way to enjoy paprika is on roasted chickpeas as a snack. Instead of crisps, brilliant.
Yeah.
Did you say eye health?
Yeah, so for vitamin A, the carotenoid.
And what about cinnamon? Obviously, I use a lot of cinnamon in my cooking at home, especially for like baking purposes, really. Things like porridge oats is also very good for that. But I imagine it's got a lot more than that also.
Yeah. So we've got cinnamon here, cinnamon sticks or ground. Cinnamon contains a compound called cinnamaldehyde. It's quite popular amongst people with diabetes because some say that it helps to help control blood glucose levels. And that's because it can help to slow down the release of carbohydrates. So again, it's not going to cause any harm if you put it on your porridge or yogurt at home. And also, there is some studies to show that it has antiviral properties as well. So it might help with coughs and colds. It's not the elixir of life. But I think the other thing is that it's quite sweet and warming, so you might be less likely to add more added sugar, for example, to a dish. So that's why these spices are beneficial. Use spices instead of more salt.
But what I would say is also many people probably have at home cinnamon powder as opposed to the stick. Is there sort of a vast difference in the quantity or the dosage of what you would use for stick to a powder, for example?
So most of the research is around 1 to 6 grams, which is around a teaspoon. So, I mean, I personally use ground. It's really easy to use ground in baking. But if you want to infuse different drinks with cinnamon sticks, then great.
What's the thing you would have if you had a cold? Like if you were like, right, I'm going to take something to make me feel better.
I would take a higher dose vitamin C, but also I would take the ginger, lemon and honey, just because I like the taste. But also garlic, which we haven't mentioned. I would use a lot of garlic as well. Yeah,
well, should we talk peppermint first then? Because I drink a lot. Whenever I've got like dodgy stomach issues, I always find mint teas quite good, like I just whack some like fresh mint into hot water.
Yeah. Which is brilliant. So peppermint is really calming on the gut, and it contains a compound called menthol, and that's released from the oils. So you can add it to hot water like this, or you can actually buy the peppermint capsules or drops, and it's quite popular amongst people with IBS, which stands for irritable bowel syndrome.
Yes.
So about 20% of the population have got IBS, characterised by griping and pain. And really interestingly, the properties within peppermint, it binds to the pain receptors, and so if you suffer with IBS, maybe give peppermint a go.
Yeah, that's what I find helps. And also it's quite good for suppressing, if you want to have a sweet treat. I remember doing this experiment we did for a TV show where we got people to sniff mint, and it stopped them then going and getting biscuits. If they sniffed the mint and waited 10 minutes, it stopped them. You mentioned garlic. Do you want to quickly tell us what the benefits of garlic are then?
Antiviral, antimicrobial, widely available. You can roast it. It goes in most dishes. So for your immune system, 100% you use garlic throughout cooking.
Yeah.
It's also good for thinning your blood, correct? Is that correct?
Do you know what? I don't know in what doses, but I would say in the doses that you use within cooking, it shouldn't do you any harm. But before taking any of these in supplement form, I'd always say ask a doctor or a pharmacist. They will look at what other medications you're taking, what other ailments you've got, and they'll work out the best advice for you.
And would you recommend supplement form or the real thing?
I think it depends on what you're after, and it depends on what other conditions you've got, because sometimes it might be contraindicated. So my general advice is add the real foods, because the real foods, you're going to be getting more of the antioxidants, but maybe for some people capsule form might be a benefit.
Yeah, amazing. That's a good one too. Thank you very much for that, Nicola.
Thank you.